everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am stood outside the Odeon Cinema at Metrocentre because I'm going to see the new Mary Poppins movie, Mary Poppins Returns, and I'm going to do a review afterwards. And I thought I would take you along because I'm actually going to go gallery, which means comfier seats, all your foods included like nachos, popcorns, like drinks, and it's just so much nicer. You get to sit in the lounge beforehand and then you get taken around, and this is not like a sponsored or paid video. I just wanted to do Mary Poppins review, and it just so happens that I am going gallery, so I thought I may as well show you the process while we're at it. So let's go. I've just found a Wookiee outside the cinema, so I'm gonna go and say hi.
The area. Is that funny? Oh great, thank you.
Yes please.
Yeah, what different like?
Can I get? Okay, so we've just gotten in. This is the lounge. You can basically sit where you want, but I like to sit in these seats. There's even little diamantes. You're comfy there, Matthew, are you? Now this is the life. So we've just been handed some chocolates. Ooh, obviously you don't have to eat them if you don't want to eat them. I've just been asked what nachos we want. You can choose from like sour cream, cheese, salsa, guacamole, and you get 3 dips and you can pick 3, but there's 4 to choose from. And I'll take you around in a second, and I'm gonna like pick my popcorn and my drinks, and they're unlimited as well, so it's really cool. So if you come in like early enough, you could get some nachos and then get a refill for going back in. And then I don't know if you can see, but over there is the door where you go round to the cinema, separate from everybody else, and there's like separate toilets as well. It's very nice. Okay, let's go and get the popcorn and the drinks. Oh my god, sweet. Oh, I don't know, I might get mixed as well. I'm gonna get a Coke and water. I don't know whether I want sweet or sour. Get a sweet and salt. Oh, it's cold and warm in there. Okay guys, I've just come out seeing Mary Poppins. I'm gonna do a proper review when I get home, so let's go home. That was clearly quite a few weeks ago, wasn't it? Oh, it's taken me way too long to actually do the review part of this video, and I apologise. Normally when we go to the cinema we go quite late. I was really tired when we got in and there was no way I could do the review, but the fact that I seen that video in December and it's now March is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I've even cut my hair off. Like, it's been way too long. I should have done the review part of this ages ago, and I'm sorry. It's been in the back of my mind, like constantly, like I need to do that, I need to do that. Is it even relevant anymore? I don't know, but I'm gonna put it up there anyway because I want to do more reviews from when I go to see movies, and there is a lot of awesome Disney movies coming out this year. Toy Story 4, Endgame, the new Star Wars, just to name a few, Dumbo, like there's so many movies coming out, so I will try and get the movie reviews from now on up sooner. Like on the day would be good, Sarah, not 3 months later, sorry. Anyway, I am gonna now do the review of the Mary Poppins Returns. If anything though, it's kind of a good thing because it's like, okay, if I think back to it, what is my general overall view? Did I enjoy it? No, sorry Disney, I didn't like it. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised by how many people are out there going, I loved it, and it's like, really? Like, I'm really sorry Disney. I'm not saying don't see it, I'm not saying that. Definitely go and see it and make up your own mind. And am I saying that they shouldn't have done it? No, because it did still have its good qualities. I'm not going to sit here and like bash it apart. Like, it did have its good parts, but overall it wasn't for me. So I'll start with what I didn't like, and then we'll move on to what I did like so that we can end on a good note. I should probably point out right now, if you haven't seen the movie, there is going to be spoilers. Okay, so let's just quickly summarize what the movie is about. Michael works at the bank where his dad worked, and he has 3 children, and his wife has died, and his sister is not married, doesn't have children, and I don't think she lives with him, but she does pop in a lot. So they're obviously in a lot of financial troubles, they're just not earning enough, and it comes about that they are going to lose their house unless they can find a certificate of shares that their dad has left for them from the bank. So the whole movie is about finding these shares. Now, my first problem with that is that kind of entails that, you know, everything's gonna be alright if we find this money, you know? Like, if we find the certificate so that we can have this money so that we can save our house. And it's just a bit like, I just don't think it's a great message. But I think the whole, I want to say the whole time Mary Poppins is kind of implying that you don't need the certificate. You just need each other. But that never really happened, I don't think. If anything, she knew where the certificate was from the start, because do you remember? She put it in the box, and then I'd forgotten the little tiny boy's name, but she gave him the box and she was like, take that out, and he picked up the piece of paper, which was the certificate, and started drawing on it, or he made the kite out of it. And it's like, she could have saved that family a lot of bother by saying, by the way, I found the certificate. Because I don't feel like her not telling them taught them anything. Like, I thought she did it and she, like a message was going to come out of this, like, from her. But I don't really think she taught them anything by doing that. Is it just me? So that was kind of my first problem with it. It was just a bit odd. Number two, the cinematicness of it, I'm not very good with the technical terms, was very dark and a little bit kind of like, you know, in Sweeney Todd the horror movie by Tim Burton, the beginning of that is London. I can't think of the time frame. I want to say like very early 1900s, possibly late 1800s. Bad with timing, sorry. But that movie, like, you know, that Tim Burton darkness that he puts on all of these movies that makes them like freaky and gloomy, that was like what the beginning of Mary Poppins was to me, the Mary Poppins Returns. Like, as soon as it started, I was like, is it just me, or is this like a little bit freaky? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, yeah, I didn't like that. It was a bit gloomy and not very like Mary Poppins. So the original Mary Poppins is set in like 1910, and it's very like London 1910, and it's kind of like a nice vibe. Like, the area where they live is obviously wealthy, and yeah, like the new one was very different. Like, when I think of the cinematicness, it's very bright, and the white houses and like, you know the London townhouses, but the new one was just a bit kind of like gloomy, and yeah, just an overall kind of dark filter over the movie, which I didn't really like personally. So the movie starts with Jack, who was Bert's friend. This song isn't good. Like, I'm sorry, like, ugh. I want the music, like the original Mary Poppins music. If I said to you now, name 5 songs from that movie, you would be able to do it. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Chim Chimney Chim Chim Chiroo. Why can I only name 2? Spoonful of Sugar, Tuppence a Bag, Stay Awake, I Love to Laugh. Like, I just named 6. Name a song from the new movie. I can't. Like, the thing was, it was like Mary Poppins Returns, and then the very first song was, I don't even know. Like, I was waiting for it to pick up and get catchy, and it didn't. Yeah, and I feel like all of the songs were like that, especially Meryl Streep's song. I love Meryl Streep, but I kind of felt like her entire character was just a bit like, I don't get it. Like, she could not be in this, and would it be such a bad thing? Oh my god, I'm ripping this movie apart. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that I didn't like. I thought it was a lot more cheesy. Emily Blunt, it took me a hot second to get used to that voice, but then I did, and I was like, okay, that's Mary Poppins. I think Emily Blunt did a really good job of like posing and just general character and the voice. I think she honestly, like, she looks gorgeous, and her clothing, that's one of the parts I did like. I think what she looked like her outfits, like, I'm into my clothes, her coat at the end as well when she was in the park, like, her clothing was beautiful. Like, she was beautiful. And I'm not saying she's a bad actress at all. She was obviously just acting out the Mary Poppins that they wanted in this movie, but the Mary Poppins that was in this movie, I didn't get. She did things that was like almost cruel, like, you know, not telling them that she knew where the certificate was, and then like letting them slip past her in the bank. Like, she's seen them and they slip past her, And it's like, I don't think the original Mary Poppins would have done things like that. I felt like she let the children off a lot on their own. Like when they were in the ball, they went off on their own. Like I felt like she did that a lot, and I just feel like the original Mary Poppins wouldn't be like that. Like she taught them the lessons. I can't explain it. I feel like if I go on any longer about all the negative stuff, it's really going to sound like I hated the movie. The only other thing about this movie that I didn't like, that I'll mention, is I thought it was quite family movie cheesy. And I know some people love that. And I love a cheesy movie, and I know the movie is like a big family kid movie, but it's also a sequel and it'll have a lot of older fans, and Disney does have a lot of older fans, and I just thought it was a little too family cheesy. You know, the type of movies that really are aimed at children. I can't explain it because I'm a Disney fan, so that sounds stupid. Like I'll watch Hunchback of Notre Dame, I'll watch Hercules, but I don't feel like they're aimed at children. But there are movies out there that are, I can't explain it. Okay, I lied, there's two more things that I didn't like. Why was Dick Van Dyke just kind of in the room at the end and then just decided to pop out and be like, oh, by the way, yeah. And it was like, you stood in the whole room, like the room the whole time, and it's 12 o'clock at night and you're like an old man? What? And the last thing I didn't like is that in the end, that tuppence that Michael gave his dad, he did put into the bank, and they actually have a whole nest egg of money. And it's like, don't worry kids, as long as you've got rich parents that invest money for you in the future, you'll be all right. I didn't like that message so much. It was a bit like, oh, well, I'm screwed. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh Lord. Right, I need to stop going on about the things that I don't like. I really didn't hate the movie. I just didn't get it. To be honest, as soon as I seen the trailer and I got the whole vibe, I was like, oh, I think they've gone in a bit of a different direction than I would have liked them to. But I still give it a chance. That's another thing I didn't like. Oh Lord. So you know the bit when they're in the tent, in the bowl, and Mary Poppins starts putting on this Cockney accent and dancing around, and even at one point opens her legs, sat on the chair? That bit was too much for me. I actually looked at Matthew and went, what is going on? If I wasn't reviewing this movie, I might have walked out at that point. I didn't like it, and I was bored and confused. Oh my god, I'm ripping this to shreds. I'm sorry, Disney. Please keep working with me. When I've looked into how they've done some of the scenes, so did you actually see the scene about how they actually did the bathtub bit? Like Emily Blunt actually went down a slide when she drops into the bathtub backwards. She actually goes down the slide backwards. Like, I honestly do feel like they've put a lot of work into it. I loved the costumes. I loved... Emily Blunt was good. I just didn't think the new Mary Poppins was my favourite, but hers, Mary Poppins, she was amazing. They've obviously gotten to a lot of effort with that, like the whole, like, just a lot of things, like all the dancing, but it just wasn't for me. And as you can see, I kind of have more complaints than positives, and really the only positives I can think of is that Emily Blunt was beautiful, and she did act out very well, and Dick Van Dyke was great. I don't really get how he hid in the room and then came out, but Dick Van Dyke, you just smile when you look at him. So I liked that they included him. I liked the ball. So you know how like when they were walking around on the ball and they all changed outfits and they went into the ball, so like when they went into the chalk painting, I liked that. Like you could hear that they were walking on the porcelain ball. I did like that. Like the ball started out really well. I was like, ooh, this is like the chalk painting. It just kind of went downhill though with the dancing and then the kids going off on their own, and I wouldn't buy it on DVD. I wouldn't go looking to watch it again. If I'm round someone's house and it's on the telly, or if somebody was to buy me the DVD, then yes, I'd probably be like, oh, do you want to watch this tonight? But I wouldn't be that excited. Like, I would watch it again, but I wouldn't go out of my way. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking because I think I just ripped that movie to shreds. I'm sorry, Disney. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try and do movie reviews now for all the movies I got to see this year. Right, I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.